This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
This table is really tilted.
Excuse me? Am I gonna get a chance to speak?
Maybe I should take that back.
Denied. Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Take a giant step for mankind.
Welcome to the Tilted Table with your hosts, Sean and Joe.
Folks, welcome to another episode of The Tilted Table, the internet's answer to a question that no one asked. I'm Sean Kabibi.
And I am Joey Joe, the Fracky Mac.
And we're back from a long break, an entire week. The streak has been destroyed.
And man, after 86 episodes, that is wild. See, I real quick, I'm excited to hear what you have to say, but I want to just give ourselves a virtual high five, because I still think that is an incredibly amazing accomplishment for two middle-aged guys to publish every week for 86 weeks straight. Is really something.
And I think that we could have done it. First of all, the streak should have never been broken. It was purely a mistake on my part, because we could have recorded something before I left town easily. But I have this folder called Unpublished Episodes, and it had 2 episodes in it. And then there was a conversation we had a couple weeks ago about, I found these 2 unpublished episodes. And then you said to me, like, I remember one time you telling us that we didn't have anything. And I'm like, I swear we have 1 or 2 in the can. So we're just like, oh, you know what? I probably made the stupid folder, put those things in there, and then I forgot the folder existed. So then I'm like, okay, we're cool. So then before I leave to Arizona, we're like, well, we could record. I'm sure we could have crammed, if we would have known that we're going to miss a week, we would have crammed something. And we
100%.
So I'm like, well, I got these 2 unpublished episodes, so we got material. And then when I was, getting ready to put them together, I started listening to them and I'm like, wait, these aren't, I swear we did these. And I went back and I found them, like, fuck, they probably were in the unpublished episode folder. I mixed them or whatever, and then I published them, and I just never deleted them out of that folder. So
okay, that makes sense.
So when I sent you that message, I'm like, dude, we ain't got shit. We don't have anything, so I gotta take a week off. But whatever, for sure. I mean, 86 weeks, I'm not gonna balk at that. That's some consistency that I'm happy about.
When you think of the word discipline and the definition of it, and you can take a look at that and say, 86 times at the plate to knock it out of the park, I think that's pretty solid. Yeah,
and I again, if we were both retired or we didn't have, I don't know, what is it called?
Outside lives.
Like jobs and outside lives. And
careers.
I don't think it would be super impressive, but we have shit to do, We ain't making any fucking money off of this, folks.
No, that is a fact. This is hobby only.
This is clearly a passion project.
That's 100%, man.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm excited to hear about you took an amazing adventure to the great sunny state of Arizona.
Yeah, it was a friend's 40th birthday party. And so we went out to Arizona. This is actually kind of this whole story is just, I don't know. It seems like this is the kind of thing that I end up getting into. I think love would tell you. It's just like, if something weird is going to happen, it's going to happen to you. So a friend of mine, his brother's having his 40th birthday party. So he sends out a message to all the group, the homies, and says, hey, we're going to have this 40th birthday party. And I was planning on going to Scottsdale, Arizona to go play golf at one of these premier golf courses or some fancy golf course. And who wants to go? And of course, I said, I'll do it. Yeah, for sure. I think that'd be fun. And so they set it up. And, we all kind of, again, it's like 8 of us. So people are buying tickets to plane flights or whatever. So the person that set up the party, he sends me a message and says, hey, do you want to fly together? I got this Airbnb. It's a big ass house, but can we want to fly together? I say, yeah, we can fly together. And he goes, go ahead and buy the tickets for the plane flight. I'll go ahead and cover the cost of your share of the Airbnb, and whatever the difference is, I'll owe you, you owe me, or whatever the difference would be, right? So that's no problem. So I booked the flight. So keep in mind that I'm getting on a plane with this one guy. Like, the other guys have other flights, different times, right? So we're getting, the day is coming, and you're packing your bags. We're getting ready to go. And he sends me a message, and he says, oh, by the way, when we get there, I'm renting a car, and I'm going to drive to this Indian reservation so I can get my ID. So he's part Native American, and he's, getting his ID for the tribe. So it's like a 2.5 hour trip out to the tribe, 2.5 hour trip back. So you can either go with me, or you can hang out in Phoenix, and just do whatever. And I'm just like, son of a bitch. Like, I wasn't that upset or anything, but I was just thinking like, now I got to spend 4 hours hanging out at Phoenix Airport while you go drive to some Indian reservation.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
And so my first thought with it was like, well, I don't want to hang out in Phoenix. And I'll tell you why. Our plane landed at 10 in the morning. And we were going to play golf. So we left Friday. So we're going to play golf on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And I already know how this all goes down. If I'm in Phoenix and it's 10 in the morning, I'm likely going to start, drinking, waiting for the other people to arrive or whatever is going to happen. We can't get into the Airbnb until 4 o'clock. So it's not like I can go to the Airbnb. So I'm just like, no, because my default response will be to go bar hopping or start, drinking. And then I'll be absolutely trashed by the time you get back from the Indian reservation. And then we're supposed to go out that night because we are going to go out that night, right? Mm-hmm. I'll never survive. I'll wake up so hungover Saturday morning that I won't go play any kind of golf, right?
10 hours of drinking.
So I made a decision. And again, I'm going to tell you the story. It was a great decision. I'm like, well, I'm just going to ride with you. I'll go out to the Indian reservation. I have never really been to one. And my grandmother is Pawnee. She was straight up off of a reservation. My grandfather came in from Czechoslovakia. This is like World War II era. And, it's a long story with my grandfather, but he got to America and went to a reservation because he was scared that he was scared that the American government would send him back. And so he thought he would be protected on a reservation, and he got himself a wife.
Okay.
Right. So anyways, so I'm kind of curious about this, whole ID thing. And I understand if you can register with the tribe, you get all kinds of benefits and whatnot. So we're driving out of Tucson, and we're driving down, the freeway, and then we eventually take this road, and I'm telling you, it's a fucking road that just goes on forever. And it's just desert and desert.
Is it paved?
Desert. Yeah, it's paved.
Okay.
And it's just desert and desert. And then every few miles, you'll see like a house. And then you'll see like maybe a trailer, right? So we eventually get to the heart of this tribe, or this reservation, I should say. And I don't know enough about how they're busted up, but they have a bunch of different villages, or maybe I don't know what they're called. It could be like small towns, and inside there's like villages inside those towns. So they have all these different names and things like that. So he goes there, and we get lost, and we're trying to find where we're supposed to go. And it was really, really interesting. I found it super, super fascinating. And it is, I think there's a lot of stereotypes that are true. It looks like a lot of poverty, but not all of it. Mm-hmm. There's definitely some nice spots, and the people were super, super nice. And it was a really cool experience.
Were there wigwams?
I never heard that word. Is that a tribe?
A wigwam?
Isn't that the enemy?
No, it's kind of like the teepees.
Oh, no, not like that. No, there were some houses that were fairly nice homes, but then there were also just like trailers parked, and there were some houses that were, just, busted up. And get in your head the stereotypes of those reservations. There's a lot of,
literally, as you said that, like all of those stereotypes are running through my head.
Yeah, and I think the thing is what I came to the conclusion. They obviously have money because they had a really nice school built, an elementary school that was super freaking looked brand new and awesome, and they have these rec centers, and they have their own little. I wouldn't call it a prison, but like it's a pretty big, either jail or small prison, and they've got a whole setup. So they had really nice stuff there. When you get into, it was in Cells. That was the name of the town.
What is it?
Cells, SELLS, like cells.
Oh, Cells. Okay.
Yeah. So he does his thing, and then we leave, and then we get back, and so we all get to the Airbnb, and we decide to go out, and again, this is Phoenix, Arizona. And I don't know how Arizona State University isn't that in that area? Is it in Phoenix or really close to it?
Something like that.
Who knows? And I told you this earlier. Like the number of college age folk. There were older people there, but we're talking 90% were people in their 20s, maybe their early 30s, and just absolutely. If there are any younger people out there thinking about going to college, you should consider going to Arizona State University, because it seemed like it was just one hot chick after another, and it was insane. Very, very beautiful town. I'll give them that. But anyways, so we ended up going to this bar called Patty's, and it's an Irish bar. But it's they got like a ping pong table, and they've got pool tables, and they've got darts, and it's a lot of young people. So it's that type of crowd, and I hate that kind of environment. It's just crowded. It's young people going crazy or whatever. So we get there, and it was something interesting about this bar. I guess it's their shtick, and they want you to do this. They have Sharpies everywhere,
Okay.
right? Black Sharpies, and their tradition is to take a dollar bill, and you write something on the dollar bill, whatever the fuck you want, and then you staple it or tape it to the wall, right? And this entire bar, and it was a big bar. Like, it wasn't just like a small bar. It was like, you walk in, like I said, they had a ping pong table in one area, and it had a bar to the side. Then you go into another area, and they had the shuffleboard, 2 pool tables, another bar in the back, and then on the right side, they had the main bar. So this was a pretty big place. The entire fucking place, the walls and the ceiling fans, all had dollar bills on them.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right? Like wallpapered in dollar bills, right? And so I'm standing there, and and it takes, you got to, you're sort of absorbing all this in.
A little overwhelming.
Yeah, and I'm not thinking about it, but of course it's something you can't. I'm like, God damn, all these dollar bills, and then I asked this girl who's standing next to me, some random girl. I go, you from here? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, what is it, the thing with the dollar bills? She's like, what's the tradition here? You have a dollar bill? I said, yeah, I've got a dollar bill. She's like, you're supposed to, write something on it, and then there's Sharpies. You'll find them on all the tables and stuff, and then you paste it up. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then it hits me that I'm from Fresno, California, and I'm sitting there going like, this place could not exist in Fresno. If you did this, your walls would be just ripped off daily. Right? So I started thinking about that. And so as we're hanging out drinking, and again, it's not my crowd. So it's not like I'm running around talking to a bunch of girls and doing all that kind of nonsense.
It's like a frat party?
I would describe it as something close to that. The people were really nice. We met a couple of people and we hung out with, and it was both men and women. But like, these people are like 25, 26, 27. If I had to guess their age, there were some older people there. There was a woman there that was probably in her 50s, and just this old lady in the corner smoking cigarettes. It was wild because you can't smoke in bars down there. So, we're just hanging out and we're just talking with everybody. But I couldn't get out of the back of my head how, like, I'm looking at everybody. This place is packed, probably 200 people easy, right? I couldn't get out of my head how this place couldn't exist in Fresno. But beyond that, I kept looking at everybody, waiting to see if anybody would take $1 off there, steal some of the money. And I'm just going like, wow, there's not one motherfucker here that's taking anything, and they're not even paying attention to it. Like, there's not a drunk motherfucker that's even like, you could look at their face and they're like looking at the wall, like, and then looking around like they're contemplating it. None of that. Yeah, so that was a trip.
So did you have fun?
Oh yeah, I had a great time. Yeah.
What were you drinking?
Well, they were buying buckets of Michelob Ultras, which was probably a smart choice considering how much we drank. So I don't think I had anything. I think I had a shot of something. Somebody bought a shot of tequila or something like that. So that we had to keep it.
I didn't think you drank tequila.
I don't. I would take a shot of whiskey before I would take a shot of tequila. But I mean, when in Rome.
Oh, of course, yeah, of course. That's,
So-
no great story ever started with a salad or a glass of water.
Oh, right.
It always starts with, so we fired up a bottle of tequila.
Right.
Dot.
Right. So, but also we didn't want to get all, fucked up because, we had to go play golf the next day. And so we ended up going back to the house. And that house has like a pool and a hot tub. And I hung out in the hot tub for a second. But the birthday boy, he disappeared. He hooked up with some dude and this dude's chick. And it was just like, I don't know what kind of insanity they got into, but this dude comes stumbling back in at 3 a.m. And we're all up at like 6:37 making breakfast. Our tea time is at 2:00, and he's dead to the world. Like, he's just out. And we're sitting there going like, is he going to get up or whatever? What's going on? And he eventually got up. But for a man turning 40, he was 65. So he partied way, way too hard. So we get our shit together, and we end up going out to the golf course. And immediately there's a couple of issues. And this is just, when you have 8 people together, right? The birthday boy doesn't seem particularly interested in playing golf because he's fucking hungover, I'm sure. It feels like shit.
He's like wearing sunglasses inside.
Pretty much. Well, we went there to go have lunch because our tea time is at 2. So we got there, I think, about noon. And we're sitting on the patio eating lunch. Now, keep in mind that this is Arizona. It was 95 degrees outside.
In March.
And it was hot. And so first thing that is quasi brought up amongst some people is like, wow, it's really fucking warm out here. And there's no shade. There's no trees, right? There's no trees that have any kind of shade. So at one point, the birthday boy looks over at me and he's just like, man, he's all, how much we have to pay, for each one of us? It's like $200 to do 18 holes. It's like, look at it, it's like $2,000 altogether here. We could do with $2,000, and then all that. He's talking to me about it. He's not talking to the crowd. And the jokes about strip clubs, and then he starts talking about Top Golf, right? He's like, "There's much better places we can be," and I'm just like, "It's your birthday, if you want to play golf, we can do something else, right?" Mm-hmm. But there were a couple of guys there that they were all about this. Like they probably wouldn't have done this if it wasn't about going to these golf courses and playing this game of golf. Now for me, I do have golf clubs. I've played golf a handful of times. I like doing it because I'd like to play and I need the practice.
So wait, is this real golf or miniature golf?
No, this is real golf.
Okay.
Yeah. We're on a legit course. I posted a photo on my social media what the course looked like. It was super nice. But I'm not a big golf guy. And frankly, I wasn't particularly interested in playing because I didn't want to spend $200 and to stand in 95 degrees straight sunlight heat and play shitty golf because I can barely play, right? Mm-hmm. But I do need the practice. So I'm on the fence a little bit going like, I don't want to, pay $200, to stand out in the sun. But then it really dawned on me how hot it was. And I started questioning, well, if the birthday boy's going to do this, I don't know how long he's even going to last. I mean, he's fucked up. But then I started looking at everybody else going like, I don't know how long any of these motherfuckers are going to last. So we're going to pay $200. Are we really going to make 18 holes? That is a fucking long ass day. So I started thinking like, I don't know if I want to pay $200 because what if we all shit out on the 5th or 6th hole? It's just too hot. And we're just, it's miserable, right? Mm-hmm. We're here to have fun. We're not here to, be miserable. But like I said, these guys are real golfers. So it may not affect them the same way. So I ended up going up to another friend of mine, my friend Mike, who doesn't do this at all. He doesn't really play golf at all. It's not his thing. So I told him about what the birthday boy said. I'm purposely avoiding using names. I don't want to get anybody in any kind of heat. So I'm like, I went to the birthday boy. I went to Michael. And I said, hey, the birthday boy, he's saying that he may not want to do this. And Mike's like, fucking hey, I don't want to do this. It's fucking hot as shit outside. And again, Mike's a similar situation as I. I think he only plays golf when clients go play golf. Like he would never even do this with friends. The weekend, if you hit me up, I'll go out and play golf with you, And so I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it either. And so he goes, well, let's not do it. How about we just, we can go maybe grab a drink at the bar and we'll figure out what we're going to do. So we went to the, the main peeps and said, me and Mike aren't going to play. It's just too hot. We don't want to, Initially we thought about riding with him, just maybe rolling around in the cart.
Right.
But then even then it was like $100 charge or something like that. If you do that, I'm like, I'd rather spend $100 at the bar if I'm going to spend $100.
Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Leave a like on the video. I know you're enjoying this. Can you shut up?
The internet's answer to a question that was never asked. The Tilted Table with Sean and Joe.
So we might go to the hotel bar. We have one drink. We head back to the house, kind of get our shit together while these guys are playing. And he finds this place somewhere in downtown Phoenix that he wants to go check out. I can't remember. It's called the Bottled Blonde. It's just some bar, Irish pub or something. And of course we go out not realizing it is St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Okay.
And we get out to this spot, and so we Uber out there, and there's not really a ton of people out, but all of these places are gearing up for a very long night.
A rager?
Yeah. Music is fucking blaring. So the street we're on is actually, they put up those steel posts.
In the middle of the street?
They were permanent, so they already been there, but like these places are hot spots. Like there is no cars cannot get on these streets. It's all pedestrian. And yeah, so there's not a lot of people. I mean, there's some places that are starting to get people. But this one street that we're on where the Bottled Blonde is, there's like 4, 5, 6 other bars, and all of them are just blaring music. So not only is it loud on the street, like it's like I got Kanye West blasting in one ear and like Return of the Mac coming from the other side. Like it's just like this massive mixture of music, and I'm just like, oh god, this is like the least fun thing I want to do, right? Like I don't want to do any of this. Like I don't want to go into these places. I mean, they're so fucking loud. And there's hardly there's a couple places that have people, but the majority of the places are kind of empty because again it's like middle of the afternoon. Yeah, it's 4 in the afternoon. So it's like I want to go to a place with Mike and sit with Mike, and it basically what amounts to a quasi empty bar, and I can't even talk to the guy because it'd be like just blaring right in your ear. I don't want to do this shit. So I tell him, I'm like, let's kind of cruise around and see, if there's a place that's just maybe a little bit more mellow. And we went to this one place called Whiskey Row, and yeah, it was like a cowboy bar, and it had music playing, but they're gearing up too. But I think they're smart enough to know that playing extremely loud music, like the club is already packed, doesn't actually attract more people. People will show up probably when the sun starts to go down. That's how usually it works, right? So I'm sure Whiskey Row, when the crowd showed up, I'm sure it got fucking crazy loud up in that place. But I think they recognize that it's 4 in the afternoon, and that most people probably there at 4 in the afternoon aren't trying to sit in a club with no people in it and just blaring loud music. So we get there, we have a drink or two, and hung out. And these guys, they made it to the 9th hole. And then they crapped out. And so we got back, and then it was a big discussion about what we were going to do. One guy left. He gets free flights. His wife works for the airlines, so he was going, I don't know if I should stay, or I can go down to the airport right now and I can grab this flight and I can get it. And so he ended up leaving. A couple of the other guys they're just done from the day of golfing on the course. So we went back out to Patty's with a couple of people, and that was super fun. It wasn't quite as crowded, surprisingly. It's an Irish bar on St. Patrick's Day weekend. But when I say it wasn't as crowded, it went from like maybe shoulder to shoulder where you can't move to like shoulder to shoulder. There was at least 4 or 5 inches between people. So we were able to grab a table, and we kind of just dominated the table, which was super cool because there was enough of a table where people would sit with us. And we get to talk to them, but inevitably, like every other bar, people move on because they can't stay in one place.
Right. And
then a new set of people would sit down, and then we'd get a whole nother conversation. So yeah, it was super, super fun. Yeah.
Were there any other crazy shenanigans from your compadres?
No, nothing of note. I mean,
did anyone go missing?
Yeah, birthday boy, he disappeared that first night. Like we knew who he was with because we'd met this dude, and like he was with this chick, and that. I don't know the relationship between the guy and the girl. I would describe it as pimp hooker. And I had this conversation with somebody. He definitely, the way he was interacting with her and the way that she was acting suggested that they weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. He was more maybe he was marketing her. So yeah,
it's wild knowing that stuff still goes on because I don't know. I live in a bubble, so it's like I'm aware of these things. But when you hear the story that you're sharing, it's like, wow, that's this is the oldest trade in humanity.
Again, I don't know that to be true. I'm only guessing. I say this not based on something that he was doing with her or the interaction they were having, because again, I wasn't like I was standing next to him the whole time listening to them talk. I did see them interact. So they were, if on the surface, if you just walked in, you would think they're boyfriend and girlfriend. He's hugging on her, she's kind of hugging on him. But there was a couple of things that made me think that there was more of a I guess pimp relationship. And I'll say this: the first thing is that we show up and he's by the pool, one of the pool tables. So we're like, hey, the pool table's open. Let's go shoot some pool. So we go over there. Immediately, this is a dude. We don't know this dude. Comes up to us and asks us where we're from. Like, hey guys, what's going on? Hey, he goes, are you guys from here? I'm like, no, man, we're from California. Oh, cool, man. I'm Joey, and he introduces himself. So it's weird for a random guy to do that.
Yes.
Right.
Agreed.
Right. And then he immediately introduces us to his quote unquote girlfriend. And if I describe the way that she looked, she was, if I had to guess her age, maybe 23, 24, stunning, and wearing everything you would assume that short everything and low cut everything. And she was, again, I don't want to stereotype. She was very much kind of ditzy, smiley party girl. Introduces herself to all of us.
What's her name? Candy or Misty Rain?
I don't know her name. And so, but she goes, we say hi to her, whatever. She goes, sits back down. He's hanging out with us. He had money on some basketball game that was being played. And so he's being part of our crowd. And of course, because this girl is very attractive. And again, she might've been 24, 25. Now the guys I'm hanging out with are in their mid to late 30s. So those guys, as they're drinking, they're flirting with her or whatever. She's a little bit, I wouldn't have bothered with it. She's way too young for me, but, so they're flirting with her and they're talking with her or whatever. But the birthday boy definitely got his hands in a bit deeper, and he's definitely like, I'll give him 100% credit. That guy, when he's ready to go, if there's a cute girl in the room, he has no hesitation. And, I give him a ton of credit because he's really good at it. I don't know what he says to these women, but he usually can pull, a decent amount of pretty girls. So, but I'm not really fully paying attention to what he's doing, but he is hanging out with her and talking with her. But when he's not, and if nobody was talking with her, she had her phone up on the table and she's doing some sort of Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not talking about like dances. She's like shaking her ass in the camera. This is in an open bar. She's got a really short skirt up. She's hiking up her skirt and shaking her ass and doing shit like that, right? So again, all these things culminated, made me think like I don't think that this is a boyfriend girlfriend situation, because he doesn't. This guy introduces himself to a bunch of strangers, right? So he's already making friends with us, because I think again, if he's a pimp, then he wants customers, right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't seem to care that everyone is hitting on her, and he doesn't seem to care that she's filming all these videos that, like, again, they're borderline like, this is stuff you would do maybe privately in your room. And if you maybe had more of a racy social media, like she's literally, like I said, pulling up her skirt and pulling down her top, not exposing her, her breast fully, but damn close. And I'm like, what boyfriend would be okay with that? Right. You know what I'm saying? He didn't seem to give a fuck one way or the other. So birthday boy disappeared with those two. And he did send out some group message pictures, and it was at that guy's apartment, I guess. And he kept, the guy's flashing just stacks of $100 bills. There's other girls there that look very similar to the girl that, was there. So
sounds like some type of a shady music video.
Yeah. So
or the set of a B-rated movie.
Birthday boy isn't always going to be completely transparent, and I don't blame him for that. People were asking like, what the hell happened last night? What'd you do? Da, 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 da. And he was, that whole coy thing, like, oh, I had a good time or whatever. But I don't know what happened, and I don't know what it cost him, if it cost him anything. I don't know what he did, but he got in late or early, depending on how you look at it.
That's
so
wild.
That was the only really wild thing that happened. Otherwise, it was just a good time, super fun.
What'd you do for your 40th?
I don't recall. I don't think I had it. I don't think I did anything special.
Really?
No. It's the same thing when I was 21. I don't think I did anything special for my 21st birthday. I'm not a big birthday person, so stuff like that I wouldn't have drawn me in. And for my 50th, I just hung out with like maybe 4 or 5 friends of mine, and it wasn't anything special. You could ask my friend Josh about this, a guy I went to high school with. He always says to me, he goes, "Look, I know you don't care about birthdays all that much, but I want to do something, for this or that, your birthday, whatever it was, my 40th or 50th." And I'm just like, oh man, I hate that whole like over the top, celebration for my birthday. It's just something I've never been into. What did you do for yours?
Oh, man.
You should. It's 30 minutes into this bitch, and I'm the only one that said anything.
Let's see. My 21st birthday was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It was at a nightclub that was right on the beach, and it was Rave Central. So they shut down the entire club and partied until the sun came up. Yeah, it was it was definitely a wild night. I do remember when I left the club, every single person gave me a high five as I walked out.
Oh man, that's kind of cool.
And it's funny. I was unboxing a bunch of old stuff at my parents' house, and I found the actual ticket from that night that I had kept. That was from the music promoter and the record label that were doing that party that night. So that was awesome. That was my 21st, and then my 40th was a huge blowout party. I got one of the roadies that helped do Motley Crue's sound and pyrotechnics to outfit our backyard with lighting, and I put up all of these screens. So he was like, "Do you want any sound for this?" I said, "No sound, because it's more meant to be like an art type of installation."
Okay.
But all these screens as you walk down the side of our house that were playing the entire series, I let all the episodes run one into the other. Thundercats.
It sounds like something you would do.
Yeah, I had a DJ there. We had cameras, giant screens, lasers. We hired a chef to do like super artistic food. Like the desserts were dipped in liquid nitrogen, and servers would walk around, and it was 110 degrees, and it was outside.
So your birthday's what, in July?
August.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my birthday's in August. What day is it?
August 5th.
Oh, so mine's. Oh, so you got the same birthday as my friend Kevin. Yeah, we used to celebrate when we were in high school. He was a drummer in my band at the time. On the 10th, and 5 days after his and 5 days before mine.
It was, and one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted the best birthday party that I've ever been at to be my own.
Yeah, of course.
And so I put a ton of planning and work into it, and then I curated the whole the bar to be like, okay, so what is, I go to each of my friends, and I knew what their favorite drink was, and then I would like, okay, if this is normally what they drink, what's the best version of that possible?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I'm gonna say there's 50 people-ish.
Oh, okay.
And as they came in, they were like, "Oh my gosh, you're pouring, fill in the blank." I'm like, well, yeah, that whole bottle is for you.
Well, shit.
So needless to say, between, it being 110 plus degrees outside, direct sunlight, all you can drink, the best cocktails, alcohol, whatever that you can think of, the music's blaring, the number of people that left with no memory of leaving. One person showed up and they said, I woke up and I was in my driveway laying against my garage door. I have no idea how I got there. So even now, years later, I still hear from friends like, dude, the craziest party I've ever been to was your 40th birthday.
Oh, right on. Yeah, see, that's cool. That's definitely a difference between you and me, because ragers like that. In my 20s, I was playing, in bands and things like that. So those are the type of places we would go to have concert or live music. It wasn't so much like a party like that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Or from a lot of those things we were playing it. So we're the ones that are actually doing that kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, definitely a different vibe, but I've never been into those types of, loud, crowded, drive me nuts, dude.
Oh, well, one of the things too at the end of the night,
although the Thundercats entrance would have been pretty dope regardless of the situation.
It is, yeah. As soon as you walk down, where we have the graffiti wall at our house, so that whole area was a bunch of screens just playing Thundercats. But I told Cookie, I was like, at the end of the night, you have this amazing food, you've got the alcohol is great, the music is awesome. And then, about that 11 o'clock at night, you're just the right kind of intoxicated, but you're hungry. So I had In-N-Out burgers and fries brought in. So there was all of a sudden, these people, our friend Anthony and my sister-in-law showed up with 60 burgers. And it was like the locust descended on the food. Those things were gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate late night drunk. Yeah. You just just bringing it's like bringing women to the party.
Yes.
Yeah. It's over with.
You see all these bags of In-N-Out walk down the the sidewalk, and yeah, it was awesome, man. It was great. It took me like 2 days to recover from that party.
You know, and you definitely turned 40 on that day. 2 days to recover from it.
Yeah, there's no way that I could, I don't have it in me to do that kind of stuff anymore. But it definitely, in terms of epicness, I do like to celebrate my birthday.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time. Yeah, I'm the exact opposite when it comes to stuff like that. I prefer a much mellower kind of situation. But I also don't like, I think maybe because I have a propensity probably to drink too much if I'm in situations where there's a lot of booze around me and it's a big celebration. I don't like putting myself in those situations. And not that like, I can't be around alcohol. Just those are the nights where, I can go out every night if I want to and say like, I'm going to have 1 or 2 drinks. That's no problem. But it's hard I think I lie to myself if I say like, oh, I'm going to this big, huge, bash. I'm going to have maybe 1 or 2. And next thing you know, I'll be 11 o'clock fucking destroying an out burger.
Yep.
Or leaning up against my fucking garage door for 2 in the morning. And I hate doing that because, I hate, we already had this conversation. I hate getting so sick. And, you get in those kinds of places, it's real easy, and I always think it's largely because, it's hard to be in a situation like that. And unless you are somebody who's absolutely sober, because people don't pressure those people. But like if you're at a bash like that, it's hard for you to not be in a situation where you're talking with somebody or talking to a group of people, whatever, and all of a sudden a bunch of shots come out, and like, well, everyone here, we gotta take a shot. We're all taking a shot. You gotta take a shot. And I think I'm going to say it's not impossible, but I do feel like it's a hard position to be in when it's like, oh yeah, I drink. I'm drinking a beer right now, but I don't want a shot. Like, it's hard to get out of that. Like, what are you talking about? You're taking a shot.
Exactly. Right? Yeah.
And I'm not like, I'm not a hard sell on things like that.
Oh, of course not.
So
I think one of the other fun stories is that one of the friends, again, the heat and the alcohol definitely got to him. He bounced early, and I was like, where'd Derek go? And then a couple of days later, his wife said, she's like, I came down. Derek was at the kitchen counter washing his hands in the sink, wearing camouflage underwear. I asked him, what are you doing? She's like, he was so intoxicated, turns around and yells, it's in case we get invaded.
There's always that one guy at the party that disappears. When we went in Arizona, one of our friends, he started drinking at 11 in the morning. So by the time we even got out to Patty's the first night, so we got out probably about 5 or 6. I mean, he was fucking annihilated. And, he's a trooper. So he's drinking. And then we did leave Patty's to go to this, just kind of go walk around and see what because there's a bunch of bars in this area. And somebody, I can't remember who, one of our friends was holding them up, like had to walk them.
Oof.
And yeah, we ended up, when we got back to the house, everybody was still, we were buzzing or whatever, but we weren't drunk. That's why we got a pool, we got a hot tub, and go out and jump in the pool or whatever. And yeah, he was done on the sofa, completely out. And of course, everybody starts like, fucking with him and taking photos. And I don't want to talk about some of the things they did. So yeah, there's always that one guy at a party where it's just like he either started too early or, some people aren't built for the
rookie move, man. The rookie move.
I mean, that's how I'm built. Like I'm the guy that would, that's the reason when I got to Phoenix, I said, there's no way. If I start drinking now, it's fucking over with. I won't even go out tonight. I'll be passed out by 4 p.m. So yeah, there's always that one dude that just, what happened? It's gone. And he probably, they go up to, his girlfriend or a friend and like, okay, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go home. You gotta take me home right now.
Well, and I know we've talked about this on other podcasts, but, and those hangovers as we get older are just harder and rougher and longer to recover from, to the point that I know this, like I don't drink anywhere close to the way that I used to, and it's very rare, in fact, that I do. In those very rare instances that I do drink, man, dude, the next day it's just the juice is not worth the squeeze.
Oh yeah, it never is. Even when you're young, it sucks. But yeah, I can remember, I was no matter how fucking hungover I was, I usually was recovered by 1 p.m. I felt good.
Right.
And that don't happen no more.
Nope.
You're done all day. Like,
it
takes me a day to recover, and even the next day, I'm probably a little foggy from it still.
Correct.
I feel fine, but I'm not the sharpest tool in the box.
Correct. Yeah, and then it's always then I do the scale thing with my left and right hands. Like, is it worth it? Today or tomorrow I want to be productive. I want to accomplish A, B, and C. And if I do this right now, like tomorrow's not going to happen. So then I'm just like, what, I'm not doing. I'll drive everyone and laugh at you guys.
Right. But on a special occasion,
Special occasion.
Yeah, like when we hit our 100th episode, I'm sure we're going to be fucking annihilated.
Yep. Well, we've been talking about that for so long that it has to happen.
Right. And that's why I didn't drink a lot in Phoenix. I have to, save my liver for the 100th episode.
Which is not that far off in the distance, man. That is going to be absolutely outstanding.
Monumental.
And I think the last thing on that note is, we're going to have to break it into maybe a couple episodes for that day. Because it's going to devolve. Right?
Oh, yeah, it's going to devolve. Yeah.
It's going to start awesome, and towards the end, there might be a little slurage that goes on. That should be awesome, though.
I have an important announcement for you, so stay tuned.
Yo, that's some next level shit, bruh.
So you got me. Big deal.
The internet's answer to a question no one asked. The Tilted Table with Sean and Joe.
Folks, thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Tilted Table, the internet's answer to a question that no one asked. I'm Sean Kabibi.
And I am Joey Joe, the Fraggy Mac.
And thank you, Phoenix, for showing me a good time. And again, man, if you're going to college, ASU, baby.
And when in doubt, put dollar bills on the wall.
That's right.
Peace.